This is my first time ever doing poetry sitting down, but I like it. Kind of conserves the energy a little bit. So I go by Deep Thought the Lyricist. I am from Madison, Wisconsin, by way of Chicago, Illinois. I was raised there, raised in Madison, but born in Chicago, Illinois. Um, I love to tell stories. Can I tell y'all a story tonight?
Yeah.
I've heard libraries louder than this, so we gonna try that again. See if y'all got any energy too. Can I tell y'all a story tonight? All right. That's a, I will say I love being down here. This ain't part of the act, but I love being down. Everybody's just been so friendly. Even the people that like the drive through for the restaurants. I'm like, why is everybody so friendly now? Y'all gonna make me move. Anyway. Don't be fooled. So I was putting together this set and I was thinking to myself, like, what story would I tell that has to do with women? And I kind of wanted to tell the origin story of kind of my perception of women, which immediately started off as like women were perfect. Like I was raised by a single mother, but like when I say perfect, I mean perfect. Like I didn't think women pooped. I didn't think they passed gas. I thought all of them could sing very, very well. Like I was like, this is what women are. And I learned this from my mother. And so um needless to say, I was a little disappointed as time was going on because those things are wrong. But I still grew to have a love and appreciation for women through her. And I think the man I am today is the man she had always tried to raise me to be. And so, for me, I am absolutely in love with women in every way, shape, or form. I love y'all, love y'all, and acknowledge and show appreciation and affirmations. That's what comes to mind when I think of this first poem that I'm going to do for you guys. It's called Sky Flowers. The soles of her feet have connected to the energy of those who have transitioned. It's bitter because to taste death is immortality melding into our taste buds. It's sweet because it softens us to fate. She speaks thoroughly through tears as an initial source of pain. The other is the means by which to bring her physical strength in line with her mental if she chose not to move. The wind would carry her in the direction that broken hearts go. But her soul is made from spit shaped promises and blood packs as it is pure. Her path is no longer linear. It hasn't been since mother's nurturing touch. Daddy's strong embrace. What makes a woman tough isn't what leaks from her eyes. It's the rise of diversity in adversity when life has put you into a submission hold, asking her to tap out, leave this life, because everything falls apart eventually anyway, right? But her hope is bamboo strong. Musical note soups meant to heal. I can see the pain constantly having conversations with you and nipping at your heels. Your name spelled backwards is as much sense as sometimes this life seems to make. An unfortunate creator of less fortunate events, red dress. Because if you wear the anger formally, it's only surface level. So deep down, you can continue to hold on to all that love has to offer, the sincerity in its toes, resting in morals, but you were always the soil and not the flower. You lift what's around you and force feed matters of the heart as food for the soul. Do you know how precious you are? How you're still considered hollow. The milk of nurturing never formed. You were always of an irreplaceable value that same star that people with astigmatism see, but not in lack of vision. I see you. You're seen. And the depth to that, once battle tested like training modules, she wrote it in her heart, and it was the best way she got it penned. Emphasis is to put your intention, and it's likely she can move mountains with her look alone. Karma is ashamed to glance her way. Trials and tribulations are malleable at best because nothing is something. It's a start, a beginning. ground level, and staying grounded levels the playing field. Implanted by royalty, hold your head high, queen. The rest of the world crumbles when you do. So from there, I would like to segue into just my general appreciation of women. I have a series of poems called "Isn't She Lovely," which just speaks on women in a different light, but it also comes from the perspective of just like everyday things that they do and that they go through. So I called this "Lady Lovely." We need to protect her, not because she needs us, but because we need her. And in the spaces where we can't mask her, we apply paint to her core traits and we picture her differently. And photographic memories plague her thoughts, but isn't she lovely? Wrapping up in lifelong traumas that family carried like facial features, isn't she lovely? The way nothing could phase her. If you knew of her true beauty, could you face her eyeshadows to paint the shutters to the windows of her soul that they dwell in? It's hard to enjoy life when she's impatient to be through the BS. It's weight, but she can beat anything she turns her heart loose to. Isn't she lovely? She wants to be loved for flaws because she understands that it's even a strength for her. The strength of a woman is measured by her trials and tribulations. The more she endures, the more beautiful she will become. Isn't she lovely? Rare beauty. Queen swag, goddess vibes stretched so her flexibility is enough to endure single motherhood. Isn't she lovely? She can bend, but breaking is not an option. More than enough skin like water fountains. The way beauty pours across her body, isn't she lovely? Her movements are like music. The men listen to the song, but they aren't listening to the lyrics, so she switches tracks. Isn't she lovely? Look at her. Look deeply and feel the beauty in your soul because that's where that depth goes to, despite what she goes through. Isn't she lovely? We try to confine her to labels as if her mere existence isn't in itself abstract. We refer to her body as a building, hoping it will soon become property that we improperly handle. Her body is not a temple. Her body is not for your eyes. Her body is hers. Isn't she lovely? Her movements move from fast to slow, reflect how life transitions into healing. Isn't she lovely? She moves to her own tune to the key of affirmations and manifesting. The world dares to speak limits on you, but a goddess can't be controlled once she realizes her purpose. She stands in it until she is comfortable enough to dance, and when she dances, her spirit kisses Mother Earth's cheek as she becomes her own world. Isn't she lovely? The world marvels at her immortal beauty. Can you feel her pain? It's nothing compared to her joy. We are privileged to witness the magic, and surely life lacked efficient warnings to cater to anything other than a gender role, but she can't be typecasted yet still. Somebody is always near in preparation to pray, be careful, love. Life has a way of sneaking up on you like the low tide. But she has prepared herself. Her heart and soul is where she resides. Staying close to home is best sometimes, but it's the thrill to live that she seeks. Isn't she lovely? Her features are not confined to appearance, but instead the spirit, the mask she wears does not cover who she is. It preserves her divinity for those who dare to be in her presence. Her beauty is immortal like sunsets on horizons, painting watercolors with its rays, and she is the personification of how that makes you feel. See her in all her grace as she dances in love. She smiles, but she knows that happiness is temporary. She herself, however, is joy, which lives on forever. Not so bad so far, right? We all right? Okay, still got your attention. Okay, so next where our journey takes us is I would be remiss if I didn't discuss um, the woman herself who was responsible for the poetry, for the poet, everything that you see here, and that is my mother, who unfortunately passed away 4 years ago due to COVID complications. And so that was actually the rejourneying back into poetry as a way to pay tribute to her. So when I get the opportunity to, I try to end any of my poetry sets with a poem to her. So this one is called Whispering White Roses. And bear with me because I haven't done this one live yet. So if I have a moment, I'm going to get through it. All right. But yeah, here we go. White roses whisper youthfulness, innocence, young love, and loyalty. Absorbed me in the sketches, conforming, weed the bad stuff out. They have thorns sharp enough to send you into shock, and that's how I remain. White roses are popular at funerals, so maybe that guaranteed your death. When the wind blows, the rose isn't easily swayed, afraid that if they really fall, they'll never get up. Rose bushes are awfully beautiful too, but they're more solidified to the ground, and that's you now. But I've never loved you less. Wanted to hug you in the best ways I could because physical love was awfully hard. White roses are good at making other flowers more beautiful. You held a lot of people up around you too. In addition, you grew within means to provide others room. The innocence of white roses are pigmented with your childhood trauma. From those seeds grew drama throughout your life, which makes sense when you pair white roses with death and death with funerals and funerals with the people who attend. They try to blend with your death, but can't extend life with no wealth. So health got buried next to the roots because it still got filthy anyway. Red roses are just white roses covered in blood from the tears that we cry. But it turns brown because most of them talked out of their behinds, so they bled from their anuses and their pores. But unless you use cow manure to plant the roses, it should smell of beauty. It should smell of the memories you gave when I wanted white roses, but you gave me your leaky eyes and heartbreak. It was better than medication. I need you to survive. She's saying it was better than sanctification. I love you. I need you to survive. It was better than my near damnation. I love you. I need you to survive. It was better than slices to my wrist to see if my blood had the scent of what control looks like, white roses. You were always beautiful, and I hope you know that. I hope God hugged his white rose to tell you that you're beautiful, that I really loved you, that it was okay to die, it was okay to go, it was okay if the white rose chose not to bloom and stay as a bud until it felt protected enough from the world. The white roses have a plot of their own, Jones, for the color of marrow from bones. Her throne remains covered in petals like feathers from birds knocked out from the skies. Sometimes white roses fall and can't get up. Sometimes white roses fall into the arms of the wrong people who convince them to suppress their thorns so they can get close to them. They want to smell you, but your aroma is of the dust God made us from, conceived from seeds. These white roses are my first love, unconditional love. I traced my hands with the thorns, stabbing them into the skin, hoping to replicate what it was like to hold your hand for the last time. And when I said I didn't want you to be alone when you go, it's because I also wanted to die. I waited for the white rose to breathe on her own, to get out of that hospital bed and whisper like roses do, to speak sign language through those breathing tubes. This is proof, and I'm trying to calculate through and through if there are any numbers, odds, possibilities, probabilities that add up to this not haunting me. White rose petals are swatches for casket interiors. Isn't it funny how true beauty can filter negativity? funnels out the darkness of life at least and displays it clearly. My white rose withered. She was great, and I, the continuance of what could have been had she been able to suffer with us here longer. Have you ever stared at a flower and instantly time froze? But what you can't stop is pain. Don't be deceived by numbness as it causes your brain to believe that nothing's going on. It's all magic. And numbness is sleight of hand. You may not be able to witness it, but your body can easily detect the differences. My white rose, my mother, my angel, where are you? If you stare at white roses long enough, they turn into doves. The doves turn into your spirit, and in the ground is the stem, the body, the part that doesn't transcend. And I am here, still watering that stem, hoping it will grow back, hoping it looks like you, smells like your perfume, wears your lipstick, dresses up on Sundays with the hat to match, leaves me voicemails like you, hugs me like you during our last conversation, thinking this is the start of something new where I didn't feel like the mistake I was when I was conceived. Then maybe I could believe that the blame wasn't all on me, my first love. And beginning steps into my garden, it's love and it's pain and it's pain and it's love and it's love and it's pain and it's pain and it's love. We rest in peace that we spend our whole lives trying to seek only to sink deep like quicksand. And I swore I hate beaches because I didn't like swimming. I'm drowning in white roses, but none of them share your resemblance. Nothing is like you, and because of that, I walk on, continuing to look for love.
Thanks.